Well, good morning from Little Creek Bee Ranch. This morning we have a little bit different lesson. I think this is really important. We've taken the time and made up some blocks of wood, and what we're going to do is give you an example of what we do to create some good solid splits. You know, most people, they'll just jerk some frames out, throw them in a box, and off they walk, and that can work. They tend to be a little weak. I would rather have 2 strong nuke splits than 4 weak ones. So what you see before you, I'm going to give you a top overview so you have an idea of what we're doing, and then I'm going to set it down because it's an iPad and we'll just need 2 hands to do this. So what you see is 2 rails. These are 4x4, 4-inch by 4-inch by 8-foot rails. And the little black lines represent where the cinder blocks would set. 1 cinder block here, 1 cinder block there. And the white paper represents the bees' home because they're spot sensitive. Alright, they're spot sensitive, and we're going to play on that spot sensitivity. Well, what we have here is we just generally numbered the frames 1 through 10, and we like to pull frame numbers 3 and 4 and 7 and 8 right on the edge of the core of the nest, and we'll leave 5 and 6, but we've numbered them and lettered them. So this hive sets just on the inside edge of the cinder blocks, and then this colony will set right there, and we have plenty of space. Now, even for me, sometimes I get excited and forget and put a hive here, and that really takes away some maneuvers that I can do. So I like to spread them out and leave this middle space on the stand so that I can slide these colonies in and out and back and forth. It helps when I'm setting up some good splits. So let's set the iPad down, and I'll show you a little bit about how we do it. So I don't have to be in the field to do this for you to get the main idea. So let's say we want to come to the apiary and we want just 2 good splits. Now, for us, in our production system, we'll have 2 brood box sets for bee production. That's how we set up for bee production. And we typically will not bother the bottom brood box. This is, in our minds, an engine that we want to keep going. We don't want to just pull everything out of here and split it up and destroy that colony. We want it to keep going. So we'll take the hive and we'll pick it up and slide it to the inside. Oh, it's only about 1 foot or 2. It's not very far. And then put an empty nuke box here and an empty nuke box there. It says nuke. And what we're going to do, if you can see, we're going to take frame number 3 and put it in a nuke box, and then take frame number 7, the odd numbers 3 and 7, just remember it that way, 3 and 7, and then take frame number 4 and put it in there, and frame number 8, odd numbers and even numbers. Now, where's the queen? I really don't so much care, because as I do this, I'm going to do some notching and crushing. We've taught that in some other videos. Excuse me. If the queen is in one of these boxes, that's fine, because I'm going to notch the heart frames, frame 5 and 6 in the middle. And we'll take another look here at the top box. Let's bring it over here. That's where we pulled from. So frame number 5 and 6 will get notched, or frame number 5 if it's easy enough. Just one's got to be notched for on the spot queen rearing. That will stay in place. Now, really, people they get all in a tizzy about where the queen is. I don't so much worry about that. You can pay attention to how loud the colonies are. You'll have 2 of them that are loud, roaring, rolling the pheromone, trying to find her. And the one that's quiet will be where the queen is, and that's an easy way to tell. Doesn't matter to me, because I'm going to do some notches in a frame here, notches in a frame here, and notches in a heart frame. And what I want to do is I want to leave these in place for a month and a week. Now watch this. I could just take these colonies nukes and just whoop, off I go to some other apiary. But they're a little weak. But by leaving them in this bee zone, or their bee spot, we'll get field bees that come back, and they'll find these two nukes with no queen or need help. And they're very sensitive to that. This colony will be fine, they'll be okay. But it takes 16 days to hatch a queen. It takes another 10 days for her to fly and mate, several times maybe. And then maybe another 10 days to roll around and lay and figure out how to get that done. So we give them a month and a week. That's pretty liberal, pretty liberal. So in a month and a week, I'm going to take these two, I'll plug them up. Because see, I've been collecting field bees coming back. Field bees coming back. That's what I want. I want this group strong with mature workers, because we pulled these frames out of here between 10 and 2 o'clock in the morning, and those are majority nurse bees. So if I don't allow for plenty of field bees, these girls will be pretty weak and they'll go pretty slow. So I want some good field bees coming back. Give them time. I want 2 strong splits. So once a month and a week, and they will have hatched a queen, and she'll be laying. Should be laying, not a problem. I got plenty of field bees. Off they go. Off they go. Then I can slide this back right to where it was. Not a problem. That was a month and a week. If I want to, I can come right back and I can do the same thing on the other side. The same thing on the other side. Different set of nukes coming back, doing the same thing on the other side. Month and a week. Take them away, plug them up, take them away, slide it back over, and everybody's cool. If I happen to pull a queen, if I start this process and I happen to pull a queen out of the main box and I don't see her and she ends up in here, no problem. It's still a month and a week. It's still a month and a week here, and they'll raise their own queen. Now, how many times in a season can I do that? I bet 2. That's a couple of months, 2.5 months. 3, if the weather's good and nectar flow's good for spring and summer, maybe 3 pulls. But some beekeepers will say, gee, you could bust that out and make 6 or 8 nukes. Well, yeah, you could. Then this would be gone. That's why we do what we do. We don't want to completely eliminate this gene pool or colony. So we'll pull the odd numbers and the even numbers. There it is again. We'll pull number 3 and 7 together, and we'll pull number 4 and 8 together, and we'll put them in nukes together. Even numbers and odd numbers. That's real simple. They get 3 empty frames and 3 empty frames. We'll leave them on their spot because the bees are spot sensitive, and the workers will come back and begin to work this. It wouldn't take very long, a day or two, and they're all rocking and rolling and doing it. I just don't disturb them. You got to leave them alone, let them sort out their issues, because we've manipulated them and we've taken away, either left alone a queen or taken a queen away, or created 2 colonies with some good brood and pollen and honey needs to be on the frame, and the girls don't have a queen and they'll go bonkers. You got 2 frames of nurse bees, that's fine to make a good queen, and they'll do that. After a month and a week, they're taken away, plugged up and taken away. The whole hive set slid back over to its original spot and let it chill out. At least a month. Let it chill out. For frames, coming back in, and you'll notice frames number 5 and 6, they can be spread apart and new frames interspersed in between those gaps. You can figure out how to do that. That's easy enough to do. But give them a month to fill out those frames. They'll do that. So yeah, you don't want to push it too hard and crash them. We're not trying to crash them. We're just trying to get some good solid splits. I don't know how many sets we have like this, maybe 4 or more. The more sets that we have set up like this, of course, the more maneuvers we can do. And you'll have to take good notes and time frames, and that's fine. But gosh, you go after a month and a half, month and a week, pull those out and go set them in another apiary somewhere. You're going to move them right into a big girl box and off and running. So this can pick up some speed. Although it's just 2, you say, gosh, that's just only 2. Yeah, well, 2 times how many ever you're doing, and then the rotations that you have, you'll be amazed how quickly you expand an apiary because of the way the bees work, and you're taking advantage of field bees coming back. So we want to slide it over into the middle. We'll put in 2 new empty boxes, nuke boxes, on the spot. It's got to be on the spot, spot sensitive. And we'll pull, we'll pull the odd frames, 3 and 7, and the even frames, 4 and 8. No matter, if I happen to bump into the queen, fine, she can go in a nuke box, and I'll get a new queen over here. Or either way, however you want to do it. If those want to be 2 queenless nukes, that's fine too. You just need to make sure you have enough eggs and larvae. And I'm going to do notching on all 3 sets. Notching on the frames here, here, and here. They'll sort it out. The girls will sort it out. And then after a month and a week, those can be moved off. This can be slid over. This can be worked now. Back over. 2 nukes back in. Again, frame numbers 3 and 7. 3 and 7. And 4 and 8 pulled into the nuke box. A month and a week. Back out they go. Slide back over. And this is something beekeepers don't do a lot of, is sliding and maneuvering. They tend to be locked down and are scared to move them much. No. You need to be a little bit more loose and slide these girls over and take advantage of those big smart field workers coming back. Because when they find they got a colony that's queenless, they go berserk and they want to go get more food and forage, and they'll help them get up and running. You'll have a really strong group of bees. So I hope that helps somebody. I think we combine that maneuvering with our on-the-spot queen rearing system, and I think you've really got a great sustainable bee practice. Just think that through, watch the videos a couple of times, and you get a feel for what we're doing. You'll see more of our block examples later down the road. We've got some other lessons. But that will really gain you some really strong splits rather than pulling 4 or 6 weak ones. That's two strong ones that are ready to rock and roll in about a month and a half. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.